Hello guys, welcome back to the Brutal Investor channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. In this episode, we're going to talk about a very interesting project that in my personal opinion has a high chance of being listed on the next Binance launch pool or even any of the subsequent Binance launch pools. And this project is called Spider Dao, right? So again, just like usual, if you guys want to do your research on this project, I suggest you to go check out their website spiderdao.io in order for you guys to access their documents, a white paper, and other information that will help you do your own research. So what is Spider Dao? Spider Dao proposes a set of tools to bring online privacy to the end user, right? So it basically is a platform that provides a set of important tools that will help its users stay private online when they're using the Polkadot blockchain, right? So to do so efficiently and sustainably, Spider DAO's team set a robust new standard for DAOs that will withstand the adversity that such a mission implies, right? So basically, they have set their own robust system in place in order to ensure privacy for its users. To mitigate the shortcomings of current DAO frameworks, Spider DAO leverages a multi-layered governance setup based on hardware and software tools on top of a fair and resilient hardware-based DAO built on Polkadot, right? Again, as I mentioned a few seconds ago, it's a Polkadot-based ecosystem, and it aims to mitigate the shortcomings of other DAO ecosystems, where Spider DAO leverages a multi-layered governance setup based on hardware and software tools on top of a fair and resilient hardware built DAO, right? So basically what they're trying to say is every DAO has its own issues. Also, although DAO, which basically stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization, is generally decentralized, there are issues that exist in those kind of systems, right? So Spider DAO aims to overcome this using a multi-layered governance system, right? And it uses both software and hardware tools in order to address this issue. And it's also built on the Polkadot ecosystem, right? So that's pretty cool. Again, here they have their white paper and knowledge base. If you guys want to check it out, I highly recommend you guys to check it out before you invest in this token. But if you also want to give it a quick read through and see what their main focus is on, this would be the place to go, right? So partners and supporters, they have a couple of interesting partners. So Vendetta Capital is one of the most reputed venture capitals, and they seem to be backing Spider DAO. Frontier, which is also a very popular, one of the most popular projects, is also backing this project up. Kylan, it is recently recently released, Oracle for the Polkadot ecosystem, and it got some really good attention recently. Bondly is also a good project. ExceedMe is also one of the good Polkadot based projects. So there are several reputed projects that are supporting Spider DAO, right? So that's pretty cool. Issues with conventional DAO governance, right? So if you are wondering how is the conventional DAO governance ecosystem, not really perfect, right? So here they explain that plutocracies, whales can gain an unfair voting advantage and the power to skew elections simply by accumulating large amounts of governance tokens to buy voting rights, right? This is absolutely true. The reason is any project that we take has a governance mechanism, right? Any DeFi project nowadays have governance tokens with its own governance mechanism. But the problem is since the governance tokens give the owners the right to vote on the ecosystem, it's very simple for a whale to buy a large volume of the tokens or simply farm those tokens with the large sums of capital and own the majority of the stake in the ecosystem, right? And that kind of biases the DAO, even though it is still considered a DAO where it's still decentralized. The decentralized nature still doesn't really exist because one or few big whales control the governance, control a large volume of the governance tokens, and therefore it kind of like defeats the whole purpose of the DAO itself, right? So this is something that Spider Dao is trying to address. So the rise of dark DAOs. Dark DAOs are entities which utilize smart contracts to undermine trust in voting systems by accumulating voting rights for market manipulation and eventually take over the governance system, right? Again, these are some of the things that are really less thought about when it comes to governance token, right? So if you see me cover multiple DeFi projects, multiple governance tokens that I've covered so far, just exist as a typical governance token, and there are if you peel the layer of the governance tokens, you can see that there are still a lot of flaws that needs to be addressed, right? And it seems like Spider Dao is mainly focused on addressing these issues. And the other other reason why the existing governance tokens are probably going to fail is because of dark DAOs, or dark decentralized autonomous organizations, which are entities which utilize smart contracts to undermine trust in voting systems, right? So basically these are still decentralized DAOs, but they use smart contracts instead of any active participation to undermine the voting system, and this can, like down the line, manipulate the governance system on a particular platform, and thereby not really provide true governance, right, to the people. Exploited governance. The utility of voting rights is tied solely to the governance token. Tokens can be easily purchased on exchanges, making it easy for large investment bodies to exploit the system to accumulate voting power, right? Again, this is tying up to the first point that they mentioned. Basically, you can pretty much buy the tokens, and if you want to seriously influence it, several institutions or several capital intensive players can skew the DAO ecosystem, right? And this is basically stating that. And these are the main 3 points that Spider Dao is trying to address, right? So introducing the Spider Dao. Spider Dao innovates the DAO concept by introducing a dual governance model which bundles together hardware and software tools with on-chain elements, providing a whale-resistant governance solution. Again, pretty straightforward. They want to make sure that they provide a multi-layer or dual governance model where both hardware and software tools can be used to have a fair DAO mechanism, right? Spider Dao is underpinned by the Polkadot consensus mechanism and will utilize a network of hardware routers deployed by DAO participants as a ticket for election voting, right? So again, if you are interested in this project, you will be fascinated by how detailed it is, right? So basically it uses the Polkadot consensus mechanism and will utilize a network of hardware routers deployed by the DAO participants as a ticket for voting rights, right, or election voting, right? So basically it will use some really intricate methods which I don't want to cover in detail in this video, but you guys can go and read through their docs to understand it yourself. But overall it uses hardware routers to ensure that each there's a specific ticket that's allocated for election voting, right? And that will kind of create this fair system. So here's a picture of what they're trying to say: a router plus Spider token plus user ID equals DAO vote. So basically, instead of just holding the token, which is basically what most of the governance tokens have, you would have a router and you would have Spider tokens, right? Spider DAO tokens, and you would have your user ID in order to successfully vote in the DAO ecosystem, right? Hardware enabled DAO voting process. To qualify for a vote in the Spider DAO, the participant must have a compatible hardware router connected to the Spider virtual private network with Spider tokens staked. One Spider Connect router equates to 1 vote, with safeguards in place to ensure hoarding of hardware devices is instantaneously detected by the network. So basically, let's say this is a very clever mechanism, right? If you have the router as mentioned here, like you have to basically have the router, and you should also have Spider tokens staked. You should also have your user ID. So you have 3 components that needs to be coming in place in order for a person to get 1 vote, right? And it's so smartly designed in such a way that they are also preventing people from holding multiple routers, because if you see, people can create multiple fake IDs, people can obviously buy off Spider Dao tokens from the market, but if they don't have access to more than one router, they will still only be able to get one vote, right? So it's cleverly designed in such a way that the voting system is very fair, and I believe that, like, based on the current real life scenario where there's always questions about voting fraud and any form of true democratization of the voting power, will definitely use a solution like Spider Dao solution in order to make it much more fairer, to prevent people from using their financial power to skew the results, right? So that is pretty cool. Whale-resistant dual governance model. Spider Dao transfers the voting eligibility rights from solely the token to a dual off-chain on-chain mechanism. This makes it more challenging for large entities to disproportionately influence elections without incurring significant costs, right? So there's also a cost factor that is tied to this, right? So Spider Dao transfers the voting eligibility rights from solely the token to the dual off-chain on-chain mechanism. So again, if you feel like I'm throwing a bunch of words, what it basically is trying to say is that voting rights are transferred in such a way that it is fully fair and prevents large entities from manipulating the voting and skewing the results, right? So that is actually pretty cool. So this is again an image of a sad whale, because clearly not all projects will have the same governance mechanism. There are projects like Spider Dao that aim to bring in these kind of cool innovations in the cryptocurrency space, which will soon be adopted by every single governance token, or even get adopted by all existing governance token as a modification, right? So that's pretty cool. Access to decentralized VPN services. Spider Dao will first be integrated with Spider VPN, which currently has over 6,400 plus international users active across 18 plus countries. So it's sufficiently decentralized, if you can see based on these numbers. It will provide owners of the Spider Connect routers with access to a decentralized VPN service, granting full online anonymity and a host of premium features, right? So basically, you will be able to, you'll be able to own like Spider Connect routers, and people who own Spider Connect routers will have access to the decentralized VPN, which will also offer anonymity, which will make sure that your voting is not just fully fair, but it's also perfectly private, right? So that is also something that we are currently lacking in the current real life voting scenario, especially in presidential elections, or prime ministerial elections, and so on and so forth. So these kind of systems are setting the groundwork for all voting systems to be efficient in the future, right? Spider Vault. The Spider Vault will be created to accumulate 2% of crypto proceeds generated by services utilizing the Spider Dao, the first of which will be Spider VPN. These funds will be used for continuous improvement of the Spider ecosystem, with eligible DAO participants able to submit and vote on proposals to fund successful projects, right? So they are planning to develop a Spider Vault, which will accumulate 2% of crypto assets generated by by any service that's utilizing Spider Dao. So basically, anytime a service uses Spider Dao's voting mechanism in order to effectively create a voting system, Spider Dao gets 2% of the crypto proceeds allocated to the Spider Vault, right? And the funds will be used for continuous improvement of the ecosystem, and with the eligible DAO participants able to submit and vote on proposals to fund successful projects that help ensure that the ecosystem grows, right? This is amazing, and again, there's a clear like a Venn diagram that clearly shows the DAO with the VPN, and this is going to be incredibly awesome in my personal opinion, right? Spider dashboard features. Spider market sell and buy bandwidth for Spider rewards based on the rules in the SLA. Governance, voting and proposing on features, products and development. Hardware, manage and update Spider Connect routers. Future products, access to any Spider DAO products in the future. VPN rewards, access to Spider VPN services. Liquidity mining, participate in the LAU concept mining. Wallet, send and receive, check balance and check accumulated rewards, right? So basically, these are some of the features that Spider dashboard has to offer. All of them are pretty straightforward. I don't have to explain everything in detail. But if you see, I think I kind of clicked something else. So if you go back, you can clearly see that this project has a lot to offer, and this is one of the main reasons why these kind of projects will definitely succeed in the future, right? Token economy. Spider tokens token is the cornerstone of the Spider Dao ecosystem, designed to capture value creation within the network and enabling the development of a fair, robust, and self-sustaining ecosystem, right? So the Spider token, the SPDR or Spider token is basically the native token of the Spider Dao ecosystem, and the token is used for the following, right? Liquidity mining as usual, governance again pretty straightforward, access to dashboard. So if you want to access these the dashboard which has all of these features, you would need to hold Spider tokens, right? So that is pretty cool and interesting. It kind of prevents the prevents spam in the network, right? It's kind of like that. The Spider Connect router is used for DVPN, which is decentralized VPN access, bandwidth monetization, access to dashboard, right? Again, this is going to be the Spider router, which will, I believe it's already available in certain areas, but it will definitely be available in more areas, right? Spider DAO is fair. Anyone with a certified Spider Connect router can participate. Protection against hardware manipulation with the help of node technology, whale resistant, Sybil attack resistant, right? So basically, it's a very robust hardware software interface that ensures that it's definitely whale resistant, it's fully decentralized, and it has a fair overall a fair system is established thanks to Spider DAO, the project, right? So that's really cool. Spider ecosystem. Spider DAO will be the orchestrator of the ecosystem building and maintaining these services. So this is some of the maps that they have. Again, I'm not planning to go deep into this. If you guys want to read through it, you can go to the website. But overall, it provides information on how the Spider vaults work quickly and how the liquidity mining program happens with the Spider tokens and the Spider DAO participants, right? So that's pretty cool. So I'm just going to quickly skip to the roadmap because I feel like that's something that I want to mainly focus on. So if you see Q1 of 2021, the DAO launch, Polkadot testnet is going to be launching. Deep development of the decentralized VPN, Open WRT plugin, testnet of Spider DVPNs, native app development of iOS, Android beta release, right? So basically, by the end of Q1, they probably will have a fully functioning Android app, and I believe that they will, once they fully rigorously test the decentralized VPN, it will also be slowly available for the public. Bridge ERC20 to Polkadot, DAO dashboard release, hardware features Inc. deep packet inspection, iOS community beta, Windows, Mac OS development, right? So in Q2, they're going to slowly expand to Mac OS. They're going to create a ERC20 token to Polkadot bridge after the Polkadot parachains are also underway, and the DAO dashboard is also going to be released, right? So that's pretty cool. Q3, they have a very interesting setup where Spider DVPN will be launched in Q3, which is going to be really interesting. Launch app development for iOS, Windows Mac OS beta, Windows Mac OS mainnet, and Open WRT decentralized VPN beta, right? So basically, the mainnet launch on Windows and Mac OS, which will probably be some of the most anticipated launch, as well as the Spider decentralized VPN launch, will also be something to look forward to, which is going to happen in Q3 of 2021, right? So Spider Connect router is also, they have covered a fair bit about the router itself. The Spider router offers multi-layered privacy techniques. The Spider DNS services are regularly updated with the latest ad blocking techniques to prevent spyware tracking malware, right? This is definitely going to blow up once it's released or launched in Q3, because this can pretty much prevent tracking. It can prevent ad from coming to your system, and also it will prevent any form of malware from happening, and it's all done in a fully decentralized way, right? So this is definitely going to gain popularity in and of itself. Spider router kill switch to protect against any traffic going through whenever the VPN is disconnected, right? So again, the thing that I like about this project is they have thought about every single aspect of it, and this is the Spider router, right? It looks like pretty cool hardware, and again, I personally am looking forward to this. Once it's launched, I'll definitely have my eye on this router, and I'll probably be one of the node stakers or validators or whatever within the Spider Dao ecosystem, right? So that's pretty cool. Leadership team, again, you can look into the leaders of the Spider Dao ecosystem, and they also have their LinkedIn profile. It's pretty easily available. It's just that their photos are pretty big, and it's quite daunting when you scroll down. So the frequently asked questions, they have some frequently asked questions. If you guys have any specific questions in mind, you can click their FAQs. Otherwise, if you go to the top, the dots on the top right corner, you can see the one pager, the white paper, the pitch deck, and so on and so forth. If you go to the one pager, it's going to give you an overall idea of not only the router itself, but also about the Spider DAO ecosystem with all the charts that we've seen so far. You can see the token economics or tokenomics. The total supply is going to be 1 billion tokens. Pretty high for a token, that aims to do a lot. But again, I'm personally not a big fan of tokens that are above 100 million. But this project has a lot to offer, and I believe that this is definitely going to outperform several projects, right? Effective market cap is going to be $250,000, and the sale price was 2 cents. So we'll look at the current price and compare it with the sale price to see how much the token has performed, right? And this is some of the allocation for the tokens. If you see, strategic sale is 10%, liquidity mining is going to be 60%, is going to be the majority, as obvious. Liquidity is going to be 6%, team is going to be 20%, and advice is going to be 4%, right? So the team and the advisors together are going to be 24%, which, although at first glance is kind of concerning, I personally wouldn't really use that against this project, right? Besides, this project is trying to focus severely on democratizing the governance mechanism for any governance-based tokens, right? And I believe that if you see the fundamentals, you can kind of like see the strong fundamentals, and the long-term potential growth for this token will definitely diminish the total supply, or the max supply for the token, as well as the 24% allocation for the team and advisors, right? You can kind of oversee these two aspects because of the strong fundamentals. Again, you can also see other information, and this is basically a very important page to understand at a bird's eye view on what this project is, right? So this is also pretty cool. So let's go to the CoinGecko page for Spider DAO. So Spider DAO is currently the 976th ranked token on CoinGecko by market cap, and it's currently trading at 3 cents per token, right? Its sale price, if you remember, it was 2 cents per token, and now it's 3 cents. So you have a 1 cent increase, right? Which is pretty much nothing compared to several crypto projects, as well as for a cryptocurrency standard. Those kind of the numbers doesn't really make sense. But there is probably a lack of attention for this project at the time being, and that's why probably it hasn't pumped yet. But if you see the market cap, it's superb under. It's like a micro cap. It's the microest of the micro caps, right? $5.9 million in market cap, which is pretty low. And I personally think that this token, based on the problem that it's trying to solve, it's a very low valued gem, right? Or low market cap gem, in my personal opinion. The max supply, again, that's one of the things that I really don't like about this token. It has 1 billion tokens in max supply, and the circulating supply is only 189 million tokens, right? So you can definitely expect new tokens to be dumped every once in a while in the market, and also due to the liquidity mining feature, which will constantly emit new tokens, the token price is going to definitely slump for quite some time, right? So that's definitely initially concerning, But if you see the long-term perspective, again, for the short term, is definitely concerning. But we always play the long game here at the Brute Investor channel. And if you look at the long-term perspectives of this token, it is pretty bright. And I believe that as more and more projects start incorporating Spider Dao's effective governance mechanism, as well as fair voting rights and all the fairness that it has to offer with its privacy-based focus, I believe that this will definitely gain a lot of traction in the long run, right? So that's my thoughts. If you look at the charts, you can clearly see that the token has pretty much been on the downtrend right since December 15th, which was when it had its all-time highs of 10 cents per token, right? So people who bought it at 2 cents per token and sold it at 10 cents per token, they pretty much might have made a decent gain, but you can clearly see that the drop was pretty steep. So there was only a short period of time when it was at 10 cents per token, and then it steeply declined to the price of about 2 cents. So basically, you would have pretty much broken even, right? If you had brought it at 2 cents per token, and if you failed to sell it at the all-time highs, you probably would have just been sitting with the token with literally no change in the price, right? And this has been like this for quite some time, and you can clearly see that it had some minor peaks, which was 3 cents, and then it went back down, then went back up, down, and then it also had like an all-time lows of around 1 cent, 1.9 cent kind of thing, and then it was kind of like in the 2 cents range, and then it was going up to 2.5 cents, and now it's currently at 3 cents, right? Again, if you ask my opinion for a project that aims to create such a diverse innovation and a new innovative concept to the governance mechanism, I believe that this token is definitely going to be performing like crazy in the upcoming years, and also in the long run, right? Although there would be initial inflation that will kind of slump up the price, this token, once Polkadot's ecosystem fully goes live, you can see so many projects copying this project's governance mechanism and voting mechanism and privacy-based focused mechanism, and that's going to definitely blow the price of this token through the roof, right? If you look at the Bitcoin comparative, you can clearly see that you are pretty much buying at an all-time lows at 55 satoshis per token at the time of making this video, right? Again, similar to the dollar comparative, the Bitcoin comparative was also pretty much slumping, and it's pretty much in the downtrend. Again, if you're looking to buy into this token, obviously please do your own research, but if you're definitely planning to buy this for the long run, this price point is literally a steal, right? Especially compared to the market cap, which is basically $5.9 million. You're basically buying a low market cap gem for a very reasonable price, and it will definitely outperform its previous all-time highs and will cross maybe 20 cents, 15 to 20 cents in that range for the short term. And even in the long run, extreme long run, I believe that this token even has a possibility to go to $1, right? Again, that's pretty strong hopium, I understand that, but I'm definitely impressed by their technology and the way they're using hardware and software to provide a decentralized ecosystem for proper voting and privacy based focused, right? So that's pretty cool. If you look at the markets where it's available, you can obviously buy it from Uniswap, Bilaxi, Who.com, Hotbit, and I believe that's all the exchanges that are that have Spider Dao listed on them. I do believe strongly, since it's a Polkadot project with such a novel concept and such a high maximum token supply, I do foresee that this project may potentially get a Binance launch pool or a launchpad listing, right? Again, the time frame for Binance listing may not be anytime soon. I do believe that there is a high chance that it can happen in 1 or 2 months for the short term, and by the end of this year at the very latest, right? If it does happen, you can expect the price to literally skyrocket, because it's pretty much at its all-time lows, or relative lows it's pretty much at its all-time lows for this particular year, right? And that's definitely true. So expect potentially a Binance launch pool listing or a Binance launchpad listing, right? That's again my personal opinion, and it's not financial advice. Please don't take anything in this video as financial advice, and I'm not a financial advisor, right? Remember, guys, you guys are not regular investors, you guys are brutal investors, so stay brutal. Thank you very much for watching my video, guys. If you like my video, please click the like button and subscribe for more videos. See you in my next video. Bye.